I do anything in my power to see you just smile.
What's Gucci YouTube? It's your boy Siri today, aka Michael Your Girl, aka Minutes on the Field, and I got a little something different for y'all today. This right here is a Netflix suggestion video and a list of a whole bunch of shows that you know what I'm saying, they're watchable and they're really good, but let's get into the video. So at number one, I got The Office. The Office sounds like a bad name, but it's actually a really good show. Like, it's really good. Like, it's funny, and I watched it. A whole bunch of people probably have watched it, and it's really good. If you haven't watched it, check it out. It's funny. You're gonna laugh. But number two, we got Hollywood. Hollywood it kind of plays with a true story, and it's kind of some fake stuff in it, and it's good. But if you're around your parents, that's not something you just want to watch with your parents. It's like, it's really weird. It gets crazy. Number three, I got Outer Banks. Outer Banks is really good. It gives me like a summer vibe. It's just like a summer teenage vibe. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just something you want your summer to be. They literally just chill and just live their life, and they have problems that they gotta go through and stuff like that. And they go through stuff, and it's really good. It's really good. If you haven't watched that yet, go check that out. Number four, everybody's probably seen this. It's On My Block. On My Block it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, it's pretty good, and it's like, once again, not summer, but like, it's like teenagers going through high school, and they have bigger problems other than what a regular teenager you think would have. Just going through high school, they have those problems. On top of that, they have other problems, mysteries that they gotta solve, stuff like that. And it's really good. It's really good. It's a really good show. You should watch that too. 13 Reasons Why. I'm pretty sure just about everybody has watched that. 13 Reasons Why, you know what it is about. Hannah Baker does this to herself, you know what I'm saying, and she makes these tapes, 13 tapes, and you know what I'm saying, and blames people, tell people what they did wrong. People practically don't want the tapes to get out, stuff like that, and it gets crazy. The show really escalates. This show right here, you might not not want to watch it because it might seem a little boring or like, oh dude, it's just so depressing or something like that, but it really escalates. It gets really better. Next up, we got Stranger Things. Stranger Things, I thought this show was really weird when I first started watching it, but I got addicted. This show was actually really good. Like, I mean, first episode and first season, it was good, but you gotta get into it. Next up, we got Riverdale. Riverdale is like really good, but Riverdale's good. It's just sometimes Riverdale can be annoying, but I mean, it's not annoying, and it's really good, especially if you just push through. It's really good. It has like murder and crime and investigations, and on top of this, they're all teens, so they all deal with the same stuff that teens would deal with, plus a little bit more. It makes the show a little bit more crazier, and you just want to watch it. Plus, that's a good show. Next up, we got Tiger King. Tiger King, I thought was like garbage. It took me forever just to finish these episodes to watch it, but it's actually really good, and it's weird because if you really think about it, and Joe Exotic, it's crazy because you really don't know what happened, and it's like almost everybody has their own like questioning and thinking of what actually happened, and nobody really knows, and it starts off as like tigers, exotic. You know, you don't really want to watch it because you think it's just about tigers and this and that, but it just gets into like murder and mystery and drugs and love affairs. It gets crazy. Next up, I got QB1. QB1 is for the athletes out there. You know what I'm saying? QB, especially football players. You know, QB1 is like, it's dope. It's really dope. It's like the top quarterbacks, and they go through their whole season. It's almost like, I don't want to say documentary. It's like, I'm gonna just say a look on life. It's like a look on life, and they have like 3 quarterbacks in every season. So it's like 3 quarterbacks. Like, I think the latest one, it was this Spencer Rattler, this black quarterback, and another quarterback I forgot. But so anyway, so they have these 3 quarterbacks, and they just key in on practices and important stuff, injuries and stuff like that. Things of a high school quarterback, what a high school quarterback goes through. And it's actually really good. It's a really good show to watch. And next up, I got Last Chance U. Last Chance U, once again, for my athletes, Last Chance U is about these kids, and they go JUCO. Some of them go D1, but they end up having to go the JUCO route because of either grades or they get in trouble at D1, like I said, and they go back JUCO, and they just practically try to work their way up. And some of them actually do end up working their way up and getting exposure and going D1 again. And some don't, and they just got to go back to JUCO route, or some just leave, or some are kicked out. And it's just crazy. It's crazy. It's really good, and plus the games are really nice, and it's just really fun. And I'm pretty sure all athletes probably watch this, but you know what I'm saying? It's really good. Next up, we got the 100. The 100 is a crazy show. When I first saw it, I was like, dude, what the heck is this? And I was like, dude, this is so. It makes you feel like it's so dumb, but it's so good. I'm telling you, the 100 is so good. It's literally like these kids. It's like the Earth in the future, and Earth ends up getting messed up. So people go into space. They stay in space forever, and they're running out of time, but they're gonna die in space. And they come back down to the Earth, and they come back down to the Earth, and they have to, because the Earth was what do you call it, nuclear warfare. Nuclear warfare happened, so the Earth was destroyed. So they had to come back down and test it out because they were testing dummies practically. And it gets really crazy and it gets really deep. You guys should watch that. Next up we got Bloodwater. Bloodwater is really good. It's you may not like it. It takes place in like Africa, and it's actually like it's actually really good. It's like they're in school and things happen. It's a child that comes up about kidnapping. This girl loses her sister, and that's the trial practically about kidnapping. And you'll see it gets really messed up and it gets really deep and it's really good. You'll see and you'll like it. That's practically it about that one. And next up we got Elite. The Elite is really good. The Elite is like about these kids. I think they're in France, maybe no Spain. These kids are in Spain. These kids are in Spain, and they're pretty well off, and some kids aren't well off, so they are like, what do you call it? Scholarship. They're scholarship kids. There's like 3 or 4, I think 3. There's 3 scholarship kids that go to this rich school with all these rich kids, and they're stuck up, and they treat these scholarship kids like nothing. And practically what happens is murders start to happen, and things go wrong, and it's just warfare. It's crazy. But if you guys haven't watched that, you guys should check that out. Next up we got I'm Not Okay With This. When I first looked at this, I was like, dude, this seems like kind of trash. But then you just gotta let it get in, and this show gets really good. It just starts to pick up the pace, and you just start getting like involved with it, and you like it. As soon as like the episodes just start passing by, and you just start liking it, and it just gets crazy. Next up we got Never Have I Ever. I didn't want to watch this because it was just, it seemed girly at first, and then I was like, okay, hold on. I'm kind of liking where she's going with this. Like, I kind of liked where they were kind of going with it, but I would kind of skip ahead a lot. But it's a decent show. It's not horrible. It's pretty good. Next up, we got The Society. The Society is so good. It's literally about these high school kids once again, and they're seniors, and they go on a senior trip. They go somewhere, and they're I believe it's a senior picnic. They go on this senior picnic, and they drive off to this bus, and it's weird because they go off to this bus, and the bus leaves them, right? And there's no adults, and they end up in this like their city. They're supposed to go somewhere else, but they end up in their city. Everybody on the bus goes to sleep, and the bus driver's just driving somewhere, and they end up on this city that's literally their city, but nobody's there. So they're practically raising their own society as teenage kids. You can understand how that goes, gets crazy, and it's amazing. People just love it. So they start, I mean, people just go crazy. They was drinking every night, and it was crazy. But anyways, it gets really good, and it gets really serious, and little hint murder happens and stuff like that. It just gets crazy. But okay, next up we got The Get Down. The Get Down is about these kids music. They're from the Bronx in New York, and it's like, it's in farther back time, 19 something, and they're trying to pursue their music career because they love music. It's like teenagers, and they love music, and it's teenage summer, and they're in the Bronx, but they're in the Bronx in like earlier time, like 19 something, and like 80s, you know what I'm saying, like 80s, and it's like they're not, the Bronx is like really all bad right now, like things are burning down and stuff like that, and things are getting bad. So, but next up we got The End of the Effing World. The End of the Effing World is so good. It's like about these 2 teenagers. They go on the run after. They just leave. They literally, at first they just leave. They leave their parents because they're tired of their parents or something like that. And they leave, and they think they're in love, and it is what it is at this point because they think they're in love, and they end up murdering somebody, and it gets crazy. And they're on the run from the police. It's really good. Next up we got Everything Sucks. Everything Sucks is a really good show. It's about, I'm not sure these kids are in middle school or high school. I'm not sure. I think these kids are like high school freshmen, and they go on this trip with the AV club because they're like AV club stuff like that. Okay. So anyway, so these kids, they go on this trip and they just learn a lot. It has a lot in it. It's really good, but it's really good. It's a really good show. It's deep. It's nice and deep, and it's a good show. You should watch it. Next up we got Degrassi. Degrassi, Degrassi is a really old show, but I didn't check it out till like recently. And Degrassi is really good. If you have not watched Degrassi, that's good. I can't even. Degrassi is almost like it's not school, but it's like teenagers going through school, and it's just crazy. It's just you get to see. It's just I don't even know. It's just so much drama, and it's exciting. You should watch that if you haven't watched. Next up, we got Rust Valley Restored. If you love cars and stuff like that, watch Rust Valley. Like it's so good. Like they take these old cars from the 80s, 90s, 60s, 70s, and they just take these cars and they're like totally rusted and they just repair them. And it's so good because these cars, like, they're like pure trash. Like they're about to get crushed before they buy them. They spend like thousands of dollars. They restore them. They sell them. It's really good. It's really, really good. Next up, we got Atypical. Atypical is a really, really, really good show. Somebody actually put me onto this show. Atypical is really good. It's about this autistic kid, and he's like really smart. And he's like, he loves drawing and he loves penguins, and he has to, it's weird because he's like, he wants to grow up, and his parents don't, his mom doesn't want him to grow up. And it has so much drama in it because even though he's autistic, he still goes through a regular, like, teenage life. He has a girlfriend and all, and they have drama and all that, and it gets crazy. That it's a really good show. It's a really, really good show. Next up, When They See Us. When They See Us, this show is, it's been out for a little minute now. It's about these boys who go in the park and they get falsely accused of raping a white lady that was jogging in the park, and their whole childhood is practically stripped from them, and it's so good. It's really good because it kind of opens up your eyes, and it's like, wow, this really happened, and it's a true story. It's an actual true story. It was crazy. It's a really good show though. It's a really, really, really good show. Next up, we got Orange Is the New Black. I honestly started watching Orange Is the New Black like late, but it's really, really, really good. It's about these female ladies, and they go into they're in jail, and it's crazy because although they're in jail, they still have a life. Like they have this life in jail, and it's just crazy. And if you have, it sounds bad right now, but I'm telling you, if you have not seen this, you gotta go watch this. You're gonna love it. I'm telling you. If you have not seen it, you gotta go watch it. Next up, we got Sex Education. Sex Education is almost like what it sounds like. It's literally like this kid who's like weirded out. It's weird because this kid, his mom's like a sex therapist, and he's just weirded out about sex, but he gives sex advice out to everyone. Somehow it works, and he makes a little bit of cash off it, and he's weirded out by sex. But anyways, with that being said, next one, Daybreak. Daybreak is really good. It's like the apocalypse, but teenagers only survive, and they just rule. It's like teenagers survive, and it's like they have their own like little cliques, like, you know, athletic cliques and therapy. Not therapy. I mean, what's that thing called? Theater. They have like athletes, theater kids, the math team, or AV club, or whatever. It's like all these clubs, and they like click together, and then they have the girl group, and they click together, and they're almost like gangs, and they're like controlled territories, and it's really, 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 really good. Next up, we got Coach Snoop. Coach Snoop is, once again, for the athletes, Coach Snoop is crazy, man. It's like, it's old, but it's crazy because it's like everybody had those days when you were playing rec ball, and it just gives you those rec ball vibes, and when you just want to ball out, it just gives you this ball out kind of vibe. It's just like these kids, they're balling out, and they're in Long Beach. I think they're in Long Beach. Anyways, they're somewhere in LA. They're somewhere in LA, and they're balling out, and they're playing football, and it's just about football and rec league, and you're being coached by Coach Snoop. So you're being coached by Snoop, and you know what I'm saying? These kids just love it. It's physical, it's aggressive, it's real, it's really good. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Okay, next up we got Friday Night Tykes. Friday Night Tykes is really, really, really good. It's just like Coach Snoop almost. It's just in Texas, I believe. Yeah, it's in Texas. I think it's in Texas. Yeah, okay. Friday Night Tykes is in Texas. Friday Night Tykes and Texas, and it's just about like just like Coach Snoop's aggressive. It's real. It's just good. It's like it brings you back to your regular days and you just want to ball out. Next up, you got Unsolved. This show right here is about Tupac and Biggie and the unsolved murder, and they kind of elaborate on what they think happened and things that they think led up to it and people who set them up, and and on top of that, it's not just like people just talking. It's literally like actors playing Tupac, actors playing Biggie, and they're like reacting everything out. It's really good. Next up, we got The Last OG. This show I haven't watched yet, but I know it's good. It's about this guy who my mom told me about it. She put me onto it. It's about this guy who he gets out of prison, and his kids, they're like growing up, and he wants to teach them and stuff like that. And he practically missed out on his kid's life, and he's trying to get his life back together, because anybody knows that once you go to prison, it's hard to get your life back together. And he's trying to get his life back together, and practically he feels like, in what has honestly happened, the whole world has moved on without him. So he's trying to catch back up and get his life back together. Next up, we got Surviving R. Kelly. I know it sounds weird, but this show was actually really good. Like, I knew about R. Kelly, like I know his music and all that, but the stuff that they put out in this like show, it was crazy. They had evidence of everything that R. Kelly has done, everything. It was crazy. They had girls and stuff like that R. Kelly has done it too that came out, and it was crazy. It was just I'm not gonna say entertaining. It was just informational. That's what it was. This show right here was informational. It was really good, informational, dramatic. You should watch it. With that being said, this is everything. This is everything off the list. This is all shows. I have movies also that I'm gonna do maybe like next week. And you know what I'm saying. With that being said, like, comment, subscribe, and you know what I'm saying. If you like the video, share it around to everybody. And with that being said, we're out.
Let's make a deal. Bitch, be for real. Is you off a pill? Okay. Let's make a deal. Rumpelstiltskin. She wanna see my purple pickle up in the wind. Okay. Sean, cut us off, bitch. Get in. And if your nigga don't like me, hit